Most people never lose to the competition, they lose to themselves before the race even begins. They never take the first step with conviction because deep down they've already told themselves the ending. They've already rehearsed their defeat in the quiet theater of their own mind. Before they've faced a single challenge, they've surrendered to fear, to doubt, to the imagined judgment of people who don't even matter. This is the silent tragedy of our time, the unspoken epidemic of hesitation. People spend their lives standing at the edge of the diving board, staring at the water, waiting for the perfect moment to jump. But here's the truth, the perfect moment never comes, it never will. While they wait for certainty, their dreams are stolen by those who dared to begin without it. Henry Ford didn't wait for the world to believe in the automobile, he moved while they laughed. Edison didn't wait for the perfect filament, he tried thousands that failed until one worked. Walt Disney didn't wait for permission, he built castles in the air before he had the land to put them on. The world doesn't reward hesitation, it rewards boldness, and yet most people never learn this. They build elaborate plans in their minds, visions of what could be, and then they crush them under the weight of what if it doesn't work? They forget the greater question, what if it does? Understand this, success is not given to the smartest, the most talented, or even the most prepared. It is given to the one who dares to begin. Because the first battle you ever fight is not with the marketplace, not with the critics, not with the obstacles. It is with your own hesitation. Your mind will tell you stories. It will whisper, you're not ready. You don't know enough. You might fail. And it's right, you aren't ready. You don't know enough. You might fail. Security before they've risked anything. Success before they've been tested. But life doesn't work that way. Life asks for your leap first. It asks for your commitment before your reward. The question is not whether you will fail. You will. The question is whether you will fail forward. Will you turn your stumbles into steps, or will you let them chain you to the starting line? The world belongs to those who have the courage to look foolish, to be underestimated, to begin before they feel ready. Because those are the ones who, in time, are impossible to ignore. And here's the final truth in this moment. Every single person you admire, every hero you've ever studied, every giant whose shadow you wish to stand in, they began exactly where you are now. On the edge, facing the unknown, hearing the voice that said, don't. The beginning is where the weight feels heaviest, not because the world is pressing down on you, but because you are dragging the chains of your own doubt. Every voice in your head becomes louder in those first steps. It tells you to go back to comfort, to safety, to the familiar path where nothing is risked and nothing is gained. It tells you that trying is dangerous, but it hides the greater danger, never trying at all. Think of the thousands who have walked this earth with an idea in their heart, a spark that could have changed the course of their life, but smothered it with excuses. They told themselves they would act when they had more time, when they had more money, when they felt more confident. But confidence is not born in the waiting, it is born in the doing. Thomas Edison wasn't confident on his first attempt at the light bulb. Do you think Henry Ford felt certain when he left a paying job to build a machine people said was useless? Do you think Abraham Lincoln knew for sure he would win after losing election after election? Number. They stepped forward with nothing but belief and the will to see it through. And belief, when acted upon, becomes unstoppable. But here's the deception that keeps people frozen. They believe their first step must be perfect. They believe they must know everything before they start. And so they study and prepare and overthink until their dream becomes buried under a mountain of research. Preparation is important, yes, but preparation without execution becomes procrastination. dressed in productivity's clothing. And the longer you wait, the heavier the chains become. The truth? You will never have all the answers. You will never be fully ready. You will never have the perfect conditions, but you can take imperfect action today. And here's why that matters more than anything. The world does not move for those who hesitate. Opportunities do not sit around waiting for you to gather your courage. They pass by, quietly, quickly, and without apology. And when they're gone, you will rarely get the same one twice. Every day you delay is a day someone else begins. And the one who begins, no matter how clumsy or uncertain, is already lapping the one who waits. This is not about being reckless. This is about understanding the cost of inaction. Inaction is the most expensive decision you will ever make because it costs you the one thing you cannot buy back: time. Think about this. The greatest risk is not failure. The greatest risk is waking up 10 years from now with the knowledge that you could have been more, done more, lived more, if only you had begun. That is the pain that will haunt you more than any short-term embarrassment, any temporary setback, any small defeat. Most people will trade their dreams for comfort because they fear the short-term discomfort of the climb. But the climb is the price of the view. You cannot stand at the summit without sweating through the mountain. And make no mistake, you will be tested. Life will check the depth of your commitment. It will throw storms, detours, and closed doors in your path. And when that happens, most people quit. Not because they lack the ability, not because they lack the resources, but because they never trained their mind to keep moving when things got hard. That's the second reason people fail before they start. They have already decided how much discomfort they're willing to endure. And it's too little. They picture a smooth road, and when they hit gravel, they turn back. Understand this. The road to anything worthwhile will not be smooth. It will be uneven, uncertain, and often uphill. But that is what makes it worth walking. Every obstacle you face at the beginning is not a sign that you should stop. It's a filter, removing those who are not serious. The early resistance exists to see if you want it enough. Do you? Because here's the quiet truth. In the time you've spent doubting, someone else with half your talent but twice your courage has already made it further than you. The universe is not keeping score based on potential. It rewards execution. You don't need to be the smartest in the room. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You don't need approval from anyone. You need to decide and then move. Your decision is the ignition. Your movement is the fuel. And once you're in motion, something changes. The fear doesn't vanish, but it no longer owns you. Your confidence grows, not because you've avoided mistakes, but because you've survived them. This is how all greatness begins. In movement, not in perfection. In starting before you feel ready, and trusting that you will become ready in the process. And the moment you commit, truly commit, something else happens. Opportunities you could never have predicted begin to appear. People you could never have met before suddenly cross your path. Doors you never knew existed begin to open. Not because the universe is magic, but because your movement puts you in places, conversations, and situations where luck can find you. Most people wait for luck to knock on their door. Winners build the door, and then they go outside and start inviting luck in. So here's the truth. You are not failing because you lack opportunity. You are failing because you are not in motion. And until you start, nothing changes. Once you move, the landscape changes. But before you take that first step, your mind paints a distorted picture of what lies ahead. It magnifies the shadows, amplifies the risks, and blinds you to the truth that the greatest danger is standing still. Your belief is your compass. Without it, you wander. With it, you can walk through storms and still know you're heading in the right direction. This is where most people crumble before the journey begins. They underestimate the necessity of belief. They think success is a product of skill, luck, timing, or connections. And while those things help, they mean nothing if the foundation of belief is missing. Belief is not hope. Hope is passive. Belief is active. Hope waits for something to happen. Belief moves as if it already has. Every creator, innovator, and leader you admire operated from belief before the world gave them proof. Edison believed light could be harnessed when the only thing the world knew was darkness. The Wright brothers believed man could fly when gravity was considered an unbreakable law. Disney believed in worlds that existed only in his mind, yet millions have now walked through them in reality. They didn't wait for belief to be popular. They didn't ask for confirmation. They didn't let the world's doubt contaminate their vision. Because here is a truth few accept. You are responsible for protecting your belief like a treasure. It is the seed from which everything else grows. If you let it be trampled by criticism or starved by inaction, your dream dies before it's even born. This is why purpose matters. Purpose gives belief something to anchor to. If your goal is only about money, recognition, or status, the moment the journey gets hard, and it will, your belief will waver. But if your purpose is rooted in something deeper, it becomes unshakable. Purpose answers the question, why must I succeed? If you don't have an answer, your mind will find an excuse to quit. Think of every great achiever in history. Their drive was never just about the result, it was about the meaning behind it. Lincoln didn't endure years of political defeat just to hold office. He fought because he believed in a cause greater than himself. Ford didn't build cars to impress his neighbors. He built them because he believed the common man deserved freedom of movement. Oprah didn't rise from poverty to global influence to collect trophies. She did it because she believed in the power of stories to change lives. Purpose makes you dangerous to mediocrity. It makes you relentless in the face of setbacks. It makes you deaf to the noise of doubters and immune to the sting of short-term failure. But here's the twist. Most people never discover their true purpose because they never start. They wait until they figure it out before they act. When in truth, purpose is discovered in motion. It reveals itself not in theory, but in action. You cannot find your purpose by sitting still. You find it by doing, by failing, by refining, by noticing what ignites you even when it's hard. And once you know it, discipline becomes easier. Because discipline without purpose is punishment, but discipline with purpose is power. Discipline is the quiet force that separates dreamers from achievers. It's easy to act when you feel motivated, but discipline is acting when you don't. It's showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when the world is giving you every reason to step back. And most people fail before they start because they think discipline is a talent you either have or don't have. It isn't. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows with use. Start small. Do the thing you said you'd do, even when the feeling has left you. Keep your own promises, not because someone is watching, but because you are. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, you build trust in your own word. And once you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. But if you constantly break promises to yourself, I'll start Monday, I'll do it tomorrow. You train your mind to believe your words are empty. And when you no longer trust yourself, no plan, no opportunity, no amount of luck can save you. The world will not hand you success because you want it. It will hand it to you because you've proven you can hold it. This is why belief, purpose, and discipline are inseparable. Belief tells you it's possible. Purpose tells you why it matters. Discipline makes it real. And the truth is, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. So if you are standing on the edge right now, waiting for the courage to begin, understand this. It will not get easier tomorrow. You will not feel more ready next week. The mountain will not shrink because you stare at it longer. You have two choices. Step forward into growth or step back into safety. But know this, safety is the most dangerous place you can stand because nothing grows there. The moment you take that first real step, life will test you. Not gently, not politely, but with the full force of resistance, as if to ask, do you truly want this? Or are you just curious? And this is where the unprepared break, because they mistook the beginning for the end. They thought the act of starting was the victory, when in truth, it is merely the opening bell. Resilience is the ability to keep moving when the excitement has worn off, when the applause is gone, when the honeymoon phase fades and you're left with nothing but the grind, the setbacks, and the voice inside your head asking why you ever began. Most people fail before they start because they've already decided, often without realizing it, that they will only go as far as comfort will allow. The moment the road tilts uphill, they look for the exit. But there is no greatness without struggle. The diamond is not formed in comfort. It is formed under crushing pressure. Steel is not forged in gentle breezes. It is hammered in fire. And your character, your destiny, your success will be built the same way. Adaptability is the twin of resilience. Because no matter how carefully you plan, the journey will not unfold exactly as you imagine. The market will shift, people will leave, doors will close. And if you are rigid, if you cling to your plan instead of your purpose, you will break. Look to history. Ford adjusted his designs again and again until the Model T became a reality. Edison shifted his approach thousands of times before he found the right filament. Disney reinvented his vision after bankruptcy, betrayal, and rejection. They didn't view changes as proof they had failed. They saw them as proof they were learning. That's the mindset most people never develop. The willingness to pivot without quitting. They see a setback and call it the end. The achiever sees a setback and calls it chapter 1. Life is not interested in your comfort. It is interested in your capacity to grow. And growth demands both resilience and adaptability. When the storm comes, and it will, you must not stand there cursing the rain. You must learn to sail in it, because storms do not destroy everyone. They destroy the unprepared. Here's the quiet truth. The storm is coming whether you act or not. But only those who have built the strength to endure will find themselves standing on the other side. Resilience is not built in safety. It is built in friction. You cannot develop endurance without resistance. You cannot master patience without delay. You cannot learn courage without fear. So when challenges come, do not run from them. Recognize them for what they are. Training. Life is asking you to grow into the person who can carry the success you've been asking for. But here's the tragedy. Most people, when faced with their first obstacle, decide it's a sign they're on the wrong path. They take it as proof they should stop. And in doing so, they guarantee the prophecy. They fail not because they couldn't win, but because they wouldn't endure. Every dream has a price, and that price is paid in persistence. It is paid in the hours you show up when no one claps. It is paid in the faith you hold when every logical sign says to quit. It is paid in the willingness to rebuild after the collapse. The strongest oak trees are not the ones grown in sheltered valleys. They are the ones that stood against the wind year after year until their roots reach deeper than the storm's reach. You must become that oak. Not because the world owes you anything, but because you owe it to yourself to see how far you can go when you refuse to break. And here's something no one tells you. Resilience compounds. Every time you survive a difficulty, you carry that strength forward. The next challenge may be harder, but you are stronger. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes simply another day's work. But you cannot compound what you never begin. And that is why most people fail before they start. They never enter the arena, so they never build the muscle that could carry them to victory. You cannot learn to fight by reading about battles. You learn by stepping onto the field, by taking the hits, by adjusting your stance, by staying in it longer than anyone expected you to. And when you do, you discover something extraordinary. The struggle you feared becomes the very thing that shapes you. The burden becomes the blessing. The resistance becomes the reason you rise. Because resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about becoming someone who cannot be stopped by it.